Look at me. I'm the waterboard, dude.
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm in my makeshift studio here on a little short vacation. Friday is my wife's birthday. She will be 60 years young, joining me with saying goodbye to the 50s. I appreciate all the happy birthday wishes and everything for her as well. But tomorrow, it's all on. And today, it's definitely on because I've got the Dan Saleo show coming up at 4:30 today. Philly 500 is probably going to be a little bit salty today. And I've got a little special something for the Eagles fans out there that'll definitely kind of twist the knife just a little bit here beyond the Philly soft cream cheese. But I'm getting kind of worried right now because the Cowboys are getting a little too much praise going on right now, that this is beginning to scare me. Now, everybody has it as a foregone conclusion that the Cowboys will beat the Lions. Now, understand this. The Cowboys and the Lions are becoming a grudge match. The two Thanksgiving teams beginning to start a rivalry that's actually getting pretty good. We'll remember a few years back when we played the Lions, and they went for it for the 2-point conversion 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. On one attempt. It kept getting called back and so on. And they kept missing it till they finally lost it. You'll remember back to the playoff game with Tony Romo. Was it with Tony Romo? Tony Romo, that there was a controversial pass interference call or non-call in there. Cowboys ended up winning. The Lions, of course, were kind of upset. Yeah, that was with Tony Romo. And this past year, where the Lions came in to enact revenge for the year before, and they ran up the score on the Cowboys. And now you've got both teams here. This is a playoff game. There's no other way to put this. Both teams' seasons are on the line. The Lions, having been up there looking great, all of a sudden are dropping like a rock. They're sitting on the outside looking in, right in front of us. Whoever wins will at least hold that spot, not drop back any further. The loser of this, pretty much, your season's not over, but it's over. And so this game is truly key. Now, when we looked at this season, most people, most rational football people, first of all, Vegas had the Cowboys at 7.5 wins. A lot of people were taking the under. They win tomorrow, they've got the 7.5 exactly, which is kind of crazy. Wouldn't it be crazy if they? No, it would. No. We don't want that to happen. We want this to continue. But when you looked at how bad and porous our defense was going on at the beginning of the season, and Dak was taking all the shots, and Dak, here it is, our defense couldn't hold anybody. And then in the span of 4 days, they beat the defending Super Bowl champion and the runner-up from last year. And now, day 11, they got to go play a third game against the Lions for their playoff lives. The fact that we're even in this conversation is crazy. And now you're getting some people that are saying, if the Cowboys win this and somehow make the playoffs, you may need to put Brian Schottenheimer as coach of the year. Because when you start thinking about what the Cowboys, typically when we play games like this, are games that we would normally lose with Mike McCarthy. And I don't think we would have won these games with Mike McCarthy and his offense. Being as simplistic as it was kind of dumbed down and not believing in the run. Brian Schottenheimer now is beginning to get praise when he were killing him before. And you have to be excited about that. In fact, I haven't listened to this morning, but this is from First Take, where they believe the Cowboys will dethrone the Eagles. As crazy as it is, the easiest path that the Cowboys have to making the playoffs is actually winning the division. You have too many teams that are in front of you that have 9 wins. You do have the Bears and the Packers playing each other. Now, here's the crazy thing about this. Let's think about this for 1 second. Let's suppose the Bears are who we thought they were, and the Bears hold on and they end up winning that division. They've got 2 games against the Green Bay Packers right now. If the Packers lose those 2, one, that actually opens up the door for us. But then that says the Green Bay Packers went all in on the season and going out and getting Micah Parsons. If they don't win the division, what does that say about that move? On the contrary, you look at what the Cowboys did, and now this defense is coming around and looking about as good as it's been in a long time. Now that we ended up getting an interior defensive line, now you're beginning to see the sacks coming on the edges. Now you're seeing the D-backs coming together, that maybe Matt Eberflus isn't as bad as we thought as a defensive coordinator, and things are getting a little different. So let's listen in for a few minutes here with Swagoo.
Right. Week 14 officially underway when the Cowboys, yes, they head to Detroit, face the Lions in what feels like a playoff game in December. Cowboys have won their last 2 games against the Chiefs and the Eagles. They're now looking to win their 3rd game in 11 days. With the win streak, the Cowboys are gaining on the Eagles quickly now in the division. In fact, Thursday's game has the 3rd highest playoff leverage of any game this week, according to our analytics. The Lions jumped to 55% to reach the playoffs with a win, and the Cowboys would jump to 36%. However, with a loss, the Lions will have only a 22% chance with the Cowboys, even worse at an 8% chance. Here's Jerry Jones' perspective on tomorrow evening.
Our best shot, I think, is to win the division.
Yeah.
I really am pleased with how this team has come together over these last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm excited about what we've done, how we have evolved, and it would be a fairy tale, not total fairy tale, but it would be wonderful to pull this thing out, get in those playoffs, and have this staff make a run at it. We've got the personnel that we can compete like that.
So while the Cowboys have been winning, the Eagles have been losing, yet still Philadelphia has a 2-game lead on the division. So do we think Dallas will catch Philly in the NFC East? Go ahead, Marcus.
I have waited so long for this. I have come in this studio so many times feeling hopeless and helpless, and I had to be subjected to what this guy says about the Dallas Cowboys. And then sometimes he'll say something good, Mad Dog, but I know in my heart of hearts,
he doesn't mean it.
Down, it's a setup. Yeah. It's a setup. He means it, but it's a setup. And he tells us all the time that he's waiting on the fall. All right? I like this position we in, Shay. And yes, I do believe that they can win the division based on how they're playing and what we see from Philly right now. From a football context, there's no hotter team than the Dallas Cowboys right now. When you talk about, remember we were here a few weeks ago talking about this 3-game stretch? And if they could get 2 out of 3, we would have a different
Well, we're playing with house money.
Ideology about what Dallas is. So here's the thing. There is a significant upgrade defensively with Quentin Williams. Just
Without
for
a
this
doubt.
team in particular this year. So that position to get solidified. You bring Logan Wilson in, you get some guys off of injury. DeMario and Overshawn has been phenomenal
Outstanding
for this football team. And then you go to the offensive side. And Stephen A. and Mad Dog, I'm going to drop it off at this. I don't think anybody can stop them except themselves. Because when you look at what George Pickens is doing, and you look at CeeDee Lamb, they're running the ball successfully. Dak is playing with a lot of confidence. And what made me very excited in this game against Kansas City in particular, not just the hype. Every time they needed a score, they went down the field and got one. This game in a win was close all the way throughout. Patrick Mahomes threw 4 interceptions, had a 129 QBR, played phenomenal. And Dak and this football team were able to do enough to get a win. We haven't seen that from the Cowboys in a while, Mad Dog.
I agree.
And think
Not
about
at all.
it. The week prior, they go down 21-0.
I'm streaming this, aren't I?
To the Philadelphia Eagles.
Huge trouble.
And he races that lead and come back to win that game. So it's not just fluff. I think
didn't
this
know
team
I could do that.
is not. I don't think it's built.
Well, good morning, good people. Actually, I'm doing my morning video, and I've kind of screwed the pooch here because I'm actually streaming as well as recording it. I never knew I could do that. So you're actually seeing my morning video shot live. Go back to the tape.
On the glitz and glamour and the lights. Obviously, behind the tragedy, they probably found more meaningful things to play football for, and now they in a stretch where they're proving to themselves that they can beat really good teams in this league. I like what Dallas is, and I think they're going to win it.
I'm going to let Doggy go, but stop filibustering because you're taking so damn long. We ain't got no time to come back. Give us a chance to come back at you now.
I haven't
go
had
ahead.
a chance to talk like this in a long time. Give me my time.
Okay, go
I'll
ahead.
let Stevie handle getting back at you because I think you're right. I mean, I got a lot of juice. I said 2 out of 3. They've already done that. And they're playing for a cause right now. They're playing for something bigger than the games, and that is a very dangerous element if you're the opponent.
I didn't know.
Since when you care?
Good morning, good people.
I care
Since
about
when
that all
happened?
the time.
You care.
Well, you're in a lousy mood.
I'm in a very good mood.
You got CBS following you all day.
I'm in a very good mood.
You got CBS playing around with the cat.
All right, so today you're getting a little bonus here because I never thought, actually, I would have done this more often if I had actually known, because there's 2 buttons that I have. One is a live streaming button and one is a button for recording. And I accidentally hit the streaming one, figuring I had turned it off. So enjoy the rest of our program here this morning. So we've learned a new trick here on the road. So we're going to finish recording it, and that will actually go to a regular video as well as a live stream. So shout out to you guys. Maybe we'll do this more often. But for the Cowboys and the Lions, this game is huge. This right here, I've said this 2 weeks in a row now where I said going against the Eagles is the biggest game the Cowboys have had in forever. And that game meant nothing after it was over. The next biggest game was Kansas City. Right now, the Detroit Lions, that's the biggest game in forever for the Cowboys. If the Cowboys find a way to win this one, now the Eagles, of course, they're playing the Chargers. Excuse me. They've gotten a little bit lucky. Justin Herbert had surgery on his non-throwing hand, basically to set the bone on Monday. There's no word if he is going to be playing on Monday or not, but I'm thinking that the Chargers are looking at trying to have him play. They don't need a whole lot of points going against the Eagles, and the Eagles are definitely imploding. If the Eagles lose that game, the Cowboys are basically 1 game out, really half a game, if they win. So this game is crucial going forward for the Cowboys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And as much as I look at the Washington game where they were close against Denver, but ended up losing it because they tried to get the win, that team was a good team. The team that played for the Washington Commanders against Denver played a good game. And it shouldn't be a rollover for the Eagles to be able to beat Washington twice going down the stretch. So all of a sudden you look at those games a little different as the Eagles are now having doubts about their season and thoughts of crashing and burning like they did a few years ago are definitely in the forefront of their imagination. So I can't wait to see this thing going on, and I can't wait to actually do the Dan Salio show today because it's going to get a little bit crazy with Philly 500 and crew to see how he's feeling. He was a little salty last week after losing to us. After losing a second time, he may lose his damn mind. So definitely a lot to look forward to. I'm still at the point of feeling like, so I don't set myself up for failure. I'm looking at this and saying everything from here on is gravy. It's icing on the cake. I didn't expect the Cowboys to be, a Super Bowl contender the first year of Brian Schottenheimer. I said if they're able to get a winning season, 9-10 games, that's a very successful season for the Cowboys. And you can look at the things that they've put in place right now and feel like, yeah, this team is headed in the right direction, and give them some time, they'll be able to really do some things next year. If by chance they sneak into the playoffs, nobody's going to want to play them, and they're in great shape. So we're going to finish off this morning video here with this morning from Get Up, when they're talking about the Eagles crashing and burning and the Cowboys winning the division.
Meanwhile, Jeffrey, what has you mad this morning?
The Eagles defense. How about, listen, we're going to have to carry this team into the playoffs, D. And we got Carter, we got Davis, Jordan. None of these guys stepped up. The Bears, y'all, had 2 running backs that averaged 6 yards a carry. 2. By the way, as they went on to 250 yards rushing, that is an absolute manhandling of a very good defense. The Eagles are not going to go far in the playoffs if their defense doesn't carry them. That was a poor performance in a standalone game where you got to show up, and the Bears outplayed them tremendously.
They'll have another standalone game on Monday night. And speaking of the Eagles, the Cowboys are gaining on them fast in that NFC East that we know no one ever wins in consecutive years. Here was Jerry Jones yesterday on the Cowboys' playoff chances.
Our best shot, I think, is to win the division. I really am pleased with how this team has come together over these last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm excited about what we've done, how we have evolved, and it would be a fairy tale, not total fairy tale, but it would be wonderful to pull this thing out, get in those playoffs, and have this staff make a run at it. We've got the personnel that we can compete like that.
So here's the thing, Jerry, you're already in the playoffs. The playoffs started for this team weeks ago, and this game tomorrow night is absolutely a make or break game. Win, and their chances of getting in the playoffs are 36%. Lose, and their chances are 8%. This is, for all intents and purposes, a playoff game for both teams. The Lions, their playoff chances swing by 30% based on a win or loss tomorrow night as well. So let's put our feet up here. We got lots of time to dive into this game that will kick off Week 14. And Jeff, I can't believe you were the same guy who sat up here.
Zero. 0%.
You were now
Jerry actually said something coherent, which obviously I was like, it's like a double plus day for Jerry. All the things he did has paid off. I mean, this team, this defense doesn't even look like the same team. It has been a transformation like I've never seen in the NFL. And their offense was always a playoff, if not Super Bowl caliber offense. But their defense, the Quinnen Williams signing, the Wilson, the Overshown coming back, the guys on the back end getting healthy. But the style that Eberflus has brought in, they play some 5 down front. They give you different looks, and they've made it very difficult. And by the way, they beat some very good football teams. And I dare to say, after I gave them 0%, this is the scariest team in the NFC. Offense, defense, they can flat out get after you. If you no one wants to see them in the playoffs if they win out and get there.
As we just showed you, the chances remain such that the Cowboys don't get in. But if they do get in, they suddenly look like a team that could do some serious
I know we
damage.
can't forget everything that happened earlier in the season. It's going to be in our minds. But in football, when we game plan, it's normally the last 4 games.
That's right.
If you look at their last 3 games and coming up on this game, this has been one of the most impressive teams in football. If they finish this win and knock off the Lions, this run would have been separates them from anyone else. I don't know that I can think of a 3-game run that any other team has had that's been more impressive. They have to finish it with this Lions win, and then they'll get the Vikings, which is another winnable game. And I'm starting to think that they really might do this.
If they beat the Lions, they have what feel like 4 winnable games to finish up their season. And Peter, you were making a point that I made a lot on Friday. Here's the schedule that you see remaining. Now, the Eagles, of course, have some games that you'd figure they should win.
For sure.
After the Charger game, which is tough, even with the injuries that LA has. Raiders feels winnable. Commanders twice feels winnable. Buffalo probably will be playing for their lives that week, so that's not as easy a game. You see the schedule side by side. We'll see. The Cowboys need to make up what amounts to essentially a game and a half. But the play that I know you want to spotlight was the one that I came in here Friday morning screaming about.
It's real. Look, this is a game. It's a 1-score game against the Chiefs. It's national TV, 50 million people watching, and George Pickens gets the ball. And we can roll the play here if we want to show. Pickens, it's a 1-score game, and he gets stripped, and this happens. And in 9 out of 10 times, the Chiefs recover. Look at Kevontae Turpin come from the entire other side of the field to be Johnny on the spot and recover it. Why do we bring up this play? Because they had the Elijah Clark play last week on the punt return where he's making the play, going, hustling, finding it. Everyone is on the same page, and I texted a Cowboys source after the game on Thursday, and my text was this. It was like, Dak and CD, it was great to see them back together. It says, don't worry about any of that. Make sure on ESPN you guys highlight the Turpin fumble recovery. That's what we're about this season.
Yeah.
That's what we're about right now. This is a completely different team than the one that I saw on a Monday Night Football game lose to Jacoby Brissett and Amari DiMercado and B.A.M. Knight and the Arizona Cardinals at home. It's been only a month, but it is a completely different squad. The question is it too late to get into the playoffs.
That's right. So there's that side of it. And then Kimberly, I'll take everyone inside our meeting this morning. We had all of these conversations. And then Kmart jumps in as the voice of reason.
Pounding the table for the Cowboys, and then
says,
here I come.
We're ignoring the other side of this game, which is just as important.
The Detroit Lions, we're acting like the Cowboys are the only team that have something to play for. I've covered the Lions in the playoffs the last couple years, them losing to San Francisco. Last year, that game against the Commanders, and you're watching a team that seemed right at the doorstep of this team is loaded. They're clearly going to get to the Super Bowl. And now you look at this team, again, offensive line, whether it be injuries, whether it be just they're just not playing well. You've got secondary injuries. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown did not practice yesterday, and now his status for the game is still uncertain. But this is a Lions team where Dan Campbell is trying to tell them, this is the moment. We have to dig deep. The big word they use, grit.
Don't think it's going to be a pushover. This is the time for the
grit because they've year after year they've dealt with injuries, but they're playing at home, guys. They're playing at home, and they still have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, who are 2 stars.
I love that point because I think we make such a big deal of their injuries. And you forget, right? Like, the 49ers have had, they have a litany of injuries. And they still win. Like, we're going to have injuries in the NFL. And it's unfortunate, and it's difficult, and it's all those things. But your other players have to play well. And to your point, their offensive line last year was dominant. They didn't play good against the Packers again. Twice in a year, you're playing an in-division opponent. You know what they do, and they got wore out again. At some point, what is your identity? I feel like for me, that's the hardest part of what I see with the Lions is they want to be a physical team, they want to be a run team, they want to be these kind of things, but they haven't been. Goff is a very stationary quarterback, and without St. Brown, they're a different team.
Kimberly mentions that San Francisco game. It's less than 2 years ago. You're sitting there thinking you had the shot to go to the Super Bowl, you missed, but look at the future. A bunch of young guys, cost-effective, the sky's the limit.
That's not.
Less than 2 years later, you're currently favored to miss the playoffs. They're not a favorite to get in. They're a favorite to miss. And if things go south Thursday night, they got the Rams on the road on deck. It's only going to get worse. You project to next year, bottom 10 currently in salary cap space, only 39 guys under contract. Did they miss the window? Becomes the question.
But that's what
Did they miss the window? I don't know. I hope that we can help send them packing. Nothing against the Detroit fans. I've got a lot of friends and stuff that are in Detroit. I spent 12 Thanksgivings there watching the Lions lose. But tomorrow, y'all the enemy. And this game has playoff ramifications. I said a few weeks ago, you want the Cowboys in the playoffs? Basically look at every game going forward as a playoff game for the Dallas Cowboys. And this is the third one in a row. Win, your odds get better and your hopes get bigger. You lose, well, it's time to start thinking about the draft. As always, good people, hey, you've been able to watch. Some of you have been able to get this video, of course, early. Shout out to, I saw the good old Lola, Miss Hot Sauce, Coyote, Cosmic Fusion, Never Stop Chasing is in the house. Who else is in the house here? Dallas Cowboy for Life, Gilly, Lola Cowboys, CJ in the house. Everybody, Never Stop Chasing. So I appreciate you. Thomas Garrett at the gym, catching Jobu Sports live. I appreciate that. And I may start doing this now that I actually know how to do this. I may just go ahead and do my morning video recording. Do it live. Do it live. Do it live. And record it as well. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon.